the betting, the not so much anymore, is more down to my own fault. I need to get studying again to get the edge back. But yeah, it's a great product. I love the exchange. It's really, in my opinion, one of the better bookmakers, if not the best bookmaker out there.
Race 8 on the card, it's a Hollywood Bet Bright Future MR73 handicap, and this race is set to be run over the minimum trip of 1,000 meters, and the last race at Hollywood Bet Scottsville will go off at 16:40. But before we try to find the winners in the last race on the card, let's have a look at the replay that we have in store for you when Wheel Chommies ran third to Drogorati and Faustino finished fourth behind Drogorati in the same race on the 9th of January 2022.
Stand side, Hampton Court, Faustina, Wunderbar. Will the gap be big enough to go through? Faustina runs on now, Hampton Court, Drogorati, Wheel Chommies. Faustina runs on, Drogorati's on the inside, Hampton Court. Drogorati's coming home strong, Wunderbar to the outside, Hampton Court's fighting back, Drogorati just won it. Hampton Court, Wheel Chommies.
Yes, Charasands has a nice form line. He won his maiden by 3 lengths. And hopefully he'll bring that again to Scottsville.
Yes, look, he's a big, strong horse. You know, he is 7, but he's a young 7-year-old. You know, he's quite lightly raced. You know, he hasn't run for a while, but that wasn't by choice. We've been trying to get him onto the grass at Scottsville, and every time we accept with him, it gets rained out or it gets moved to the poly. So, yeah, look, he is dropping down in class. His merit rating has dropped significantly, so he should be very competitive in that field despite the big weight that he has to carry.
There's no doubt that Blaze of Silk is going to be a massive run in this race despite 61.5 on his back. He's a horse that is dropping a bit in the ratings. He takes a drop down in class. He faces some easier competition in this race. He's been campaigning against 94 handicaps, 80 handicaps, and this is a 73 handicap. So Blaze of Silk, he must be a runner, Graham.
Big runner, possibly one absolutely for the shortlist. Not possibly, has to be one for the shortlist. His course and distance form speaks for itself. You know, Corinne Bestel doesn't send out too many runners, but watch out when she does. Yeah, he hasn't run for a while, and the explanation from Corinne was clear. Obviously, we lost a lot of race meetings at Hollywood Bet Scottsville recently as a result of rain, and she had to take the horse out. But he's a course and distance specialist, so Blaze of Silk will certainly, despite being a 7-year-old now, will certainly make his presence felt. But this is, I'm not saying anything that nobody knows. It's the hardest race in the card. We've both found the same horse to watch out for. Number 9, Impartial, who's a stable companion to Charis Sands. So Rachel Venniker's gone with Charis Sands. Sean Veal's picked up the ride on Impartial. I think the course and distance form is encouraging. 2 starts for a win and a third. And in a race like this, he's 10-1 in the anti-post market, possibly will drift out in the market. I think he's certainly an each-way play. I think Faustino comes into the race with a chance, but this is wide open.
Yes, absolutely. Impartial is going to be a big run in this race, and as Graham mentioned, hopefully he does drift out in the market, so it could benefit the both of us. Impartial, if he reproduces a run 4 runs back when he had 60.5 on his back with Tristan Godden aboard, I think he'll probably win this race. He is 5 kgs lighter and he has come down in the race, and so course and distance form is good, so Impartial will be right there. Pacific Winter, the way he won last time out suggests that he could well go on again. He beat Imitation Game start to finish. He didn't look like losing the race for any point. That time of the race was fairly quick, in a time of 55.86, and when having a look at the course record, it wasn't far off where the course record is 55.47, so not much difference between that, and I think Pacific Winter is a runner here.
I think he is a runner because obviously this is the type of race that you could, as you were saying, off air, run 10 times over and get 10 different results. But I'm gonna be swayed by the form book. I think he should be held by Faustino, who gets 2.5 off for the services of Caden Brewer, and Pacific Winter was beaten by Faustino before he went on to win his last start. So I'm gonna work on the basis that Faustino is going to beat Pacific Winter. We've got to give some airtime to number 2, Wheel Chommies. He's always there and thereabouts, and again, his course and distance form is good. He's had 2 starts down the lane over 1,000 metres at Hollywood Bet Scottsville, finished second on both occasions. It does worry me. It's not in his favour, obviously, that Diego de Gavea puts up 1.5 kilos, so You know, he's got it all to do, but his game is consistent and he loves the course and distance. It's a real tough race, this. You know, whatever you fancy, you go with. It's clearly a field race if the budget allows, or if you're happy to take a lower percentage. I would narrow the shortlist down to 2 Wheel Chommies, 3 Faustino, 7 Pacific Winter, 9 Impartial. Because Rachel's gone with Chara Sands, I'll throw that in out of respect to her, and Blaze of Silk, number 12. That would be my not so short list in a very tough race.
One more horse that I want to throw at you is the 13 Pindem Zala from the Clinton Binder yard. Now, he has 61 on his back and he does have the beating of Blaze of Silk. But what do you make of Pindem Zala's chances?
Yeah, he hasn't won a race for 507 days. Obviously, he's coming down the ratings now rather rapidly. So on that basis, you know, when Clinton Binder is represented up here, you've got to respect them. But I'm going to sit on the fence with Pindem Zala, and he's not going to form part of my play.
Well, race 8 on the card, it certainly is a tricky race, and you can get a total upset in this race, or you can get a form result. But both Graham and myself do quite like a bit of the 9 Impartial. Blaze of Silk must be a runner, so maybe you could play around those 2 horses, but the race certainly doesn't stop there. Include as many as you can into the last leg of the pick 6, and we'll be holding thumbs that you can come through.
It's Donovan Everett from Cape Racing, and I'd just like to say it's an absolute pleasure to be involved with Intrabet and Cape Breeders in this golf day today here at Pearl Valley. It's fantastic for the industry to see all the relevant stakeholders coming down and having a good time and networking, and it's exactly what the industry needs right now in terms of moving forward and recreating some positivity to take us forward into the next year.